and appreciation for all. I really need to get things to work better. Alrighty, so we are off and running. Gonna really make some adjustments here. Not really good at doing stuff on the fly. So, okay, so for both players going off swimmingly, they're gonna both start with Cutman, which means they're both pretty familiar with the Electman zip that they can do here. Again, it's a very tricky zip, but if you're confident enough, Cutman's the way to start, so that way you can go around the cycle. You can do Cutman, Electman, which will hop you to Iceman, to Fireman, to Bombman, and to end you with Gutsman. So going through the stages, they're both pretty much neck and neck at this moment. Darker and Arrow, both being pretty well skilled at the moment. Again, it's really going to come down to the finer major glitches and zips that they can do to get across these sections really, really quickly. Alright, they're both coming up on the Octopus Battery section of the Cutman's course. As we can see here, Darko has a slight lead over Nero at the moment, but that won't reflect too much just yet. And as you can see, they're both making excellent use of the Select Pause glitch here. Expect nothing less from people that are in the semifinals of this wonderful 46 Robot Master Tournament. Very, very skilled people. This is where the fun comes, and this is where people come to play for big game, people. Both having excellent letter grabs there, coming down into the last section. Here comes the big eye. Darko takes the collision, and so does Nero. Big difference at the moment. Darko has more wiggle room that he has to try to work around with Cutman versus Nero, because Nero does not have to worry about it. Oh, it's the quarterfinals. Pardon me. I thought it was semi. Misread. But here we go. We have Cutman coming up on both screens. Darko gets in there and is mashing away, but he's also using the select glitch, which is kind of awkward. I've never seen someone actually use it during Cutman's fight, but it doesn't matter because there it goes for both people. Nero and Darko get Cutman cut. Alrighty, as you can see, we're going to Electman next. This is where we're going to see the Magnet Beam glitch here. And it's a very precise glitch, just to remind everybody. You can get stuck in what's quoted as Mega Jail in this area, because you have to inch in ever so carefully to grab it. So going through, here's the Spiny sections. They both take immediate damage using the select glitch to buffer their frames to get on throughing. And here we go, we have the Watcher Satellites coming up here. These are very tricky robots to get around. You have to time your shots ever so justly here, and you can do it safely on this section of Electman stage. It's just you don't want to fall down because gravity is heavy in this section, so you don't want to go plummeting to your own doom. Here we come with the Yoku blocks for Nero. He's opting to go to the right. Darko, let's see what he does here. He's going right as well. You could go for the left path with precise jumping, and you could make it up through those cracks where those ammo refill energies are. But again, it's a very precise jump, and if you miss, you're going to hit your head or you're going to fall. So both are thinking, nah, too risky, I'm going to play safe. So here we go, they get through that section, and here it comes. Here's our second Watcher Satellite section. And here, what you're not going to see is the players... Oh, you can see it there in Darko a little bit. The players opt to jump off the ladder and quickly grab on after shooting in order to maintain their level of balance in order to shoot the Watchers so they don't get knocked down. And here we go with Nero. He's setting up to get into Mega Jail. Gets it! Come on, Darko. What do you got for us, baby? Magic! Both players successfully avoid Mega Jail. Nero pulls out the Magnet Beam, and here we go. We're going to see some fun tactics. The Magnet Beam's your best friend when you want to do some quick platforming to get around Electman stage, especially the second half here. We have all the Magnet Beams and all the Hopper Crabs you have to avoid. I would dig up their technical name, but I'm calling myself lazy and not enough stuff on the screen as it is already. Ha! Here we go with Nero. He's made it through. He's on the way up to the big eye, to the boss door. Let's see what he does. Big Eye jumps clean over his head with a big hop, allows him to slide on in. Darko, there we go, getting set up. Let's see what it gives him. And he decides to just, you know what, I got the Magnet Beam, forget you. Hops on over. As you can see, Nero is making great use of the Magnet Beam here in Electman's climb. This will greatly shorten the amount of time he has to spend on here. Darko was setting up for it, unfortunately got caught up by the timing and ended up messing himself up a little bit. Nero, in the meanwhile, managed to make a great use of it, and down goes Electman with not a single shot coming off on Electman. Let's see if Darko can answer with the same thing. Again, offering to go for the select glitch. Boom. Gets the job done. Meanwhile, Nero has already skated his way into Iceman stage. Now, here's where the interesting thing comes in, folks. Here in Iceman stage, there's multiple places you could use the Magnet Beam to your advantage. Here we go. Nero's setting up for one of them. As you can see here, he's trying to avoid falling into the water, because it adds up so much slowdown. Not even just that, he's also looking for, there it is, he gets the zip. That's the magic money right there. He's setting up for zip number 2. Gets it. Does he go for the third one? Oh yeah! Gets the third one and avoids the Yoku blocks. Meanwhile, Darko, here we go. He's going over the water himself. Let's see if he can nail these zips. Forgot to set up for the last bit of that one. Either that or he had something else in mind. Either way, he doesn't do the zip. Wait, he might set up for this one. Yep, gets a short zip. Let's see if he hops on over. Meanwhile, Nero had an excellent placeholder passing through the bottomless pit section. It has just enough Magnet Beam to spare. He's attempting the corridor zip. Unfortunately, he runs out of ammo on the way over. Darko, playing a little dangerous here, has to be more careful with his timing, but he still gets across and he nails a zip to get across the rest part. Here we go again. Gets another zip in and avoids the Big Eye, making up any ground he lost in the water section. Meanwhile, Nero completely and utterly destroys Iceman without a sweat. We're not even 10 minutes in, and these players are pulling out all the stops, ladies and gentlemen. I can guarantee you this is going to be a very fun race from start to end. And there we go, Darko follows up and gets Iceman down. Now they'll both be heading into Fireman, where some of the more technical zips come into play. As we can see, Nero trying to set it up, gets it, gets the wall zip, gets another zip underneath, hops over the flame pillar, and barely avoids taking a hit there. Good job. Nero is making this look like a cakewalk right now. I've never seen more precision done in a Mega Man game than this competition here. And especially with Nero, he's making all these zips and jumps look child's play. Darko trying to set this up here is unfortunately not getting it. So this is going to send him back a little bit. He's going to see what he can do here. He's running out of Magnet Bridge. There we go. Gets the job done. Meanwhile, we have Nero who's setting up in the last section of Fireman's room. Here comes the Fireman zip. Does he get it? Yes! A beautiful zip by Nero. Almost a no damage run on this stage. And there, me and my big mouth. Making short work of the Screw Bomber, saying, you know what? None from you today. Ice shot to the face. Here we go, he pulls into Fireman's room. Meanwhile, Darko, attempting a zip, does not get it. Ouch. Here we go, gets it that time. Nero completely wastes Fireman without any effort whatsoever. This guy is just bringing the pain. I love it. Meanwhile, Darko realizing, uh-oh, I'm on my last energy. Can't do the zip. Has to take the long way around. That has to be a little bit disappointing and a bit of a setback, but he can make this happen still. Meanwhile, we have Nero who's in Bomb Man. We got our last pretty much zippable stage here in Mega Man. There's only one really big zip you gotta worry about, and that's the one towards the end of Bomb Man stage. It can be quite a tight zip. It's a pretty easy zip to pull off, but if you do fail it, you do end up taking it down. And that is not something you want to do, especially when you have the advantage. Here we go. Darko has entered Fireman's room. Meanwhile, Nero's choosed Ice Beam to get across some of the more difficult parts here of Bomb Man, making sure nothing shoots him. Darko, again, offering to go for the select glitch on every boss, gets it done. Nero, here we go, switches over to Magnet Beam, and here we go. He's going to hop over these hidden... I don't know what the turrets are called. They're turrets. He's going to hop over the turrets and the flying bullets here. Ooh, gets a nice zip to the ladder. Here we go, setting it up. Gets in. And he touches the gate. Excellent zip. Meanwhile, we have Darko, who's now starting into Bomb Man stage. He's now almost a full stage behind. Again, he's really going to have to hustle to make up for the ground he lost in Fireman stage. Meanwhile, Nero makes an excellent shot. And a complete one-shot, one-kill with the select glitch for Nero on Bomb Man. Whew. He's definitely trying to hold up to the fact that he can do this in 12 minutes. Well, 12 and some change, but who's counting? Here we go with Darko. He's going through the flying bullets in the turret section. Halfway through, he decides, you know what? Time to pull out that bridge. Here we go. The Magnet Beam is out for him. Meanwhile, we have Nero, who's going to make excellent use of the Magnet Beam. Ooh, had a dicey situation there on the platform. He's up in the sky. He comes on down and says hello. Darko having a little bit of trouble setting up the zip here, and still manages to get it. And a perfect gate crash. No need to wiggle on in. Perfectly done. Here we go with Nero. He made it through the scary part of Guts Man. Now he's just got to get down the shaft, into the tunnel, and start throwing those hyper bombs. Meanwhile, we have Darko lining it up with Bomb Man here. Had to reset his shot a second time, but still gets the magical money. Here we go with Nero. A very excellent zip through Gutsman's corridor. This will get him closer to Gutsman, pretty much giving him the open opportunity to put almost a whole stage completely in front of him and Darko, which is exactly where Nero wants it. In an excellently timed, beautiful use of the Hyper Bomb for Nero. Annihilates Gutsman. Perfect shot. He's moving on to Rockman 2, ladies and gentlemen, and he's going to start with Flashman. Definitely going to see some interesting things here. Darko's opting to ride the monorail. There we go. Sets up the Magnet Beam. And as we go with Nero, he's going to start with Flashman. Are we going to see some flash there? Are we going to see some fast air? Or are we going to see some flashing heat? We have no idea just yet, folks. We will find out soon enough. As we're getting hot into this, we are 13 minutes deep into the 46 Robot Master Tournament quarterfinals between Darkomegamagic and Nero X2, and so far it has been awesome and exciting to watch. Darko here, trying to finish up strong, and Mega Man gets the Magnet Beam zips going through Gutsman stage, gets across the pits with no problem, just has to worry about the corridor. Is he going to zip through? We will find out soon enough. Meanwhile, Nero's making short work of Flashman stage. Kind of note, he is using Rockman 2, so he's going to have the quicker cutscenes when it comes to item collections. So he has to take a little bit longer fighting these bosses because the normal difficulty is the standard difficulty for America, but the difficult setting for America Mega Man 2 is the default for Rockman 2. So he's going to have to do double damage. He can take double damage. It's going to be tight, but we've seen some amazing players pull off some amazing stunts using this. Here we go, Darko. Does he get it? Yes, he does. He gets the one cycle with the Hyper Bomb. That goes down for Gutsman. He's now moving on to Rockman 2, or Mega Man 2. We will see soon enough. Yes, he is going to be using Rockman 2 as well. Nero, in the meanwhile, is having an excellent fight with Flashman. Annihilates him with looks like almost a perfect boss fight. Holy cow! Whew. Early morning hype, ladies and gentlemen. Gotta love it. And as you can see here, perfect example for why Rockman 2 is the better choice when it comes to the cutscenes there. As you can see, it's only about 4 seconds for every text stream that comes up that's getting displayed versus the 7 seconds for the original Mega Man 2 for the US. And as you can see, Nero is going in for Heatman next. This is going to be interesting. He's going to definitely be going for Fast Air. I'm loving it already. Fast Air has become one of my newest favorite strategies. I love it, love it, love it. As you can see, Darko having a little bit of trouble in the bottom section here of Flashman stage. He has enough life in the tank, he just has to be careful enough not to spill all of his rice all over the place. Meanwhile, Nero, here we go, is doing the platforming section with the tellies in Heatman's first part of the stage, gets an excellent run through, takes a dive off the edge, pulls out item 3, and gives himself a lift. Item 3 is a very wonderful item in Mega Man 2. You can actually use it to get yourself up to higher portions, which is amazing. Nero making excellent use of it. Is he going to set it up and do the Fireman zip? Or the Heatman zip? Yes, he is! Gets it in! Meanwhile, over on the left side of your screen, we got Darko, who is tangling with Flashman. Has an excellent fight going on there. Gets it done! Meanwhile, back on the right side of your screen, we have the Yoku Block section coming up for Nero. He's doing an excellent job here, making sure his platforming is perfect, perfect, perfect. Gotta admit, as a kid, those sections always scared me, the Yoku Blocks. Never knew the timing, never could figure it out. As an adult, I love item 2, just because. Here we go with Nero. He's made it into Heatman's doorway. He has a little bit more than half in the tank. He just has to be careful not to take too much damage, because he could potentially get 2 or 3 shotted by Heatman here. Here we go. He's opting to play close to Heatman. Heatman's playing very nice. As you can see, for Darko, he's coming into Heatman stage. So, let's see what happens. Ooh! Nero had a very close call there. Had a 30 frame come up where Heatman stopped short. Has no problem with it whatsoever. Otherwise, everything else has been 60 and 90s. He's doing pretty decently staying close. He is not taking a single hit. Ooh, there's one hit, but it doesn't matter. Nero gets the job done. Loving it. Darko, following the same strategies that Nero gave us starting into this place, pulls out item 3 after getting past the tellies into this Yoku Block section. Will use it to rise up. Does he go for some fast heat? Does he go for the zip? Let's see. Lining it up. Accidentally misses. Has to take the right up. Has to be careful. The tellies here. They're closing in on him. Doesn't matter. He gets the zip and he's going. Perfect. Here comes the Yoku Blocks. Excellent use of that last Yoku Block there. That one right there is a very tricky one to time, but if you can jump on that one that everyone else is jumping on, you can cut yourself going all the way around to walk across the whole course. Love it! And here we go. Nero is in Airman stage. He's going for Fast Air. He's pulled out Flash Dopper. He's stopped the Gremlins. He's hopping over them fast and furious. Pulls out item 1, and here we go. Does he do it? Yes, he is. He's going for it, ladies and gentlemen. Fast Air. Ooh! Nero! Oh, no! He slipped and fell during Fast Air. That is not good, ladies and gentlemen. This will allow Darko a chance to catch up in the Heatman fight. Darko just has to remember not to take it down during Heatman so he can catch up some ground here. Looking pretty tight here for Nero. Makes it through with only taking 1 hit. Sets it back up. Here we go. Going. Makes it to the second Thunderlord. Gets the other platform out. Gets to the third Thunderlord. Takes the debuff. Goes on the 4th one. Gets the platforms rolling. Goes to the 5th one. Has the last item 1 out. Makes it across. Meanwhile, Darko's taking a couple hits over in Heatman's fight, but gets the job done. Both these players are bringing the best they can to this table. I love Mega Man in the morning. Mega Man is my absolute favorite series, and I love this. Here we go with Nero. He's on the second Gremlins. He has to be very careful. He has a little bit less than a 4th in the tank, and he has the Master Burrows and the PP coming. And here's the problem with the PPs, the birds that as they are. They drop little PP spawnlings. You don't want those in your path. If you can get them to spawn behind you and have them chase you, it'd be better for your own favor. Again, the other thing to note about Rockman 2, besides the difficulty, ooh, that is a lucky drop for Nero. He could definitely use that going into Airman's fight. Again, those drops are random. And they are less and less common when it comes to Rockman 2. So, the fact that Nero got that is amazing. Meanwhile, we have Darko, who just made it into Airman stage. He's trying to catch up as fast as he can to Nero, who's starting the Airman fight. Gets the tornado pattern he doesn't like, but he manages to jump over the second one cleanly. Going through. Can he do it? Yes, he gets it done before he has Airman hop over him. Meanwhile, we have Fast Air going on for Darko. Getting it perfectly so far. making it happen. Has not fallen yet. Great use of item 1s, great placement. Gets it done and has enough item 1 left in the tank. And I apologize, I did originally say item 2. And there we go. Good PP glitch by Darko. As you can see, oops. Guess that 1 doesn't count to the egg count. Oops. Thanks, game. Love your RNG. As you can see, Nero is finished up with the first 3 Robot Masters of Mega Man 2. He now has items 1, 2, and 3. He could virtually go anywhere he wants, and the first one he's going to go to is Crash Man. Let's see if he goes for Biggie, ladies and gentlemen. This will be a very interesting setup. He does have enough lives in the tank for this one zip, but you'd have to get 1 more life just to be able to attempt good wood. Setting it. Oh, he missed the grab. Ooh, invisible ladders. Hello. I guess he counts some sort of zip going on. Glitchy as it may be. Meanwhile, we have Darko, who's starting off his airman fight. Has an okay tornado pattern to start. Second one, he has to take a hit. Third one, he just grazes over. Airman hops over to the other side. Doesn't matter. Darko has him in the back. Nice shank. Here we go with Nero. He's making very good use of his platforming skills and use of item 1. Whew. Gets a nice hop over the Met. Here we go. He's on the climb. Does he pull it out? Yes, he does. He's pulling out item 3. Great use. Gives you an extra boost on the ladders here. Great defense against these PPs who love to knock you back. Love to knock you back. So, excellent use by any player who uses item 3 effectively here to help themselves in the climb. Meanwhile, Darko is coming into Crash Man stage as Nero is approaching the door. So the gap that Nero originally had coming into this is closing. Let's see if Darko goes for Biggie. Nope. Decides no thank you. Instead, sets it up. And gets the regular old Zippy. Meanwhile, Nero, he's starting in Crash Man's fight. 2 tornadoes says the magic numbers. Here we go with Darko. Beautiful. Gets the zip he's looking for, pulls out item 1, and starts hopping. Here we go for Nero. In the meanwhile, while Darko is finishing up with Crash Man, Nero will be hitting into Quick Man stage. Quick Man, you've got a couple of zips you can do here. One puts you in the dark, the other one puts you into the doorway to Quick Man. It's a very risky one because you can fail it and die. So it's one of the more scarier zips at the end of the stage. Darko having a pretty bad start to the Crash Man climb here, but he's doing pretty decently. Thankfully he has that item 3 in the right place. Ooh, Nero, very close to getting clipped there. Makes it down the first laser hall in Quick Man stage. Sets up. Doesn't turn the lights back on. Some people like it in the dark. Here we go, Nero. Making good use of that flash stopper. He definitely needs to use it now in order to avoid getting lasered to death, especially after doing the zip. Especially in the dark. You don't want to mess around. You want to be very careful. Darko, in the meanwhile, sets up with Crash Man. Got 2 tornadoes to start with the first shot. Then gets off 1 more. Very good play. Here we go with Nero. He's at the end. He's setting up for the door crash. Gets it. Both these players have been pretty excellent when it comes to the zips they pull off. If they do the zip and they get it, it's magical money. Nero, the only thing that we have going for Nero, though, he has no extra lives, so if he does attempt good wood, it will kill him. So he has to be very careful. Meanwhile, excellent play of Quick Man. Managed to get him in the corner and shoot him exactly dead in the head with every single crash bomb. Not a single missed shot. Ooh, Darko splitting the difference there. Almost had a very close call with the laser. Will he turn out the lights? Ooh. This is an interesting setup for the zip. That's a new one. Meanwhile, we have Nero, who's setting up the Metal Man zip. gets it done. Darko there turns out the lights, gets halfway down, decides, you know what? Everybody freeze. Dance party! Great place for the flash stopper to be used. There he goes. He's now going to continue the course without the rest of it. Nero, meanwhile, is halfway through Metal Man stage. Still holding on to that item 1, making good use of that platforming. Pulls out item 2. Let's see, can he ride it all the way? Ooh, and Darko! He had to inch his way in there, but he gets the magical money, and he does get it done. He does make the gate connection. Nice! But meanwhile, Nero has put back the lead of one Robot Master between the two of them. Darko, in the meanwhile, got Quickman caught in the corner, crash bombs him in the face, and says goodnight to you. Meanwhile, we have Nero dancing with Metal Man, and just knocks him out of the head with the boomerangs. Woo! These two are playing excellently. Darko, meanwhile, is now heading into Metal Man stage, while Nero, in the meanwhile, going for Woodman first. Okay. I usually see most people save Woodman for last, but I guess Bubble Last has become a thing lately. Who knew? Great use of item 2 on the start here in Woodman stage for Nero. Meanwhile, Darko got a very nice zip in the entrance of Metal Man stage. Again, he has the extra lives, so he has not to worry when it comes to the good wood zip. Meanwhile, Nero, he only has one chance to nail this, and only one chance. Here we go. Transition, gets the flash stopper perfectly on the transition, skips the first dog, gets the mini zip, gets past the second dog, has enough in the tank to make it cross completely. Does he? Yes, he does. Enough time before the Frenzier drops in and says hello. Here we go, he's setting up. Doesn't look like he got it on that one. Let's see here. Yep, he got it started. Let's see if he can follow through. Here comes some good wood. Let's hear it in chat. Meanwhile, Darko has just entered Metal Man's door. Boomerang's on the ready. Starts pre-firing. He's like, you know what? I don't like this door. I'm going to shoot it down. Darko got a good spot. Metal Man has him jump once. There we go. Jumps right into the boomerangs and suicides. Good job, Metal Man. Meanwhile, Nero, here we go. Does he get it? Does he get it? Good wood! Love me some good morning wood. As you can see, Nero has opted to pull out the air shooters. These are actually more effective when you're playing Rockman 2 / difficulty mode on Mega Man 2, because as you can see there, shreds right through Woodman's wood shield, does nothing to stop it. Beautiful job. Darko doing the same thing that Nero did to start the Woodman stage, rides item 2 swiftly across the first area. Perfect job. Meanwhile, Nero only has Bubble Man left. The only thing is, Nero cannot take a death. He has to be very careful. Darko not opting to pull out Flash Stopper. Oh, what is this? Ooh! Very nice dog skip, Darko! Wow! Meanwhile, Nero pretty much used all of item 1 or 2. Yep, that was item 2 he used. And just zipped right across. Meanwhile, Darko setting up here. Is he getting this done? Will we see some good wood again? Nero gets the bubble zip. Beautiful. Loving this action. We're almost a half hour deep and we're almost 2 games in, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to be a 3rd game in within a half hour between both these players. Excellent job by both players so far. Darko gets it. More good wood. Gotta love it when you get 2 doses of good wood in the morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's what the doctor ordered. As we can see, Darko is now setting up to fight Woodman. Has the air shooter out. Again, it penetrates the leaf shield, allowing you to pretty much make short wood. Yeah, short wood. Short order of Woodman. Meanwhile, Nero just slices the difference with Bubble Man. So now they have a whole game between them. Nero taking the lead swiftly as Mega Man 2 closes out for him. At exactly 29 minutes and 45 seconds, he starts Mega Man 3, going to Magnet Man first. As Darko now just has to finish up Bubble Man, and we'll be having some fun. Darko, very interesting, not opting to use the Metal Blades at the start here, instead goes full-on Buster and starts bustering the Croaks. The frogs, excuse me. I don't know why I said Croaks. Meanwhile, Nero, showing he's a button masher indeed, shoots Proto Man playing his day in the back, and Magnet Man stage gets the magic missile done. Very good, excellent bustering skills here by Nero. Did not notice this by now, but he has got a great rapid-fire reflex. This is definitely going to help him out in this area, especially for the first couple stages where it's mandatorily pretty much needed to have good buster skills. Darko here sets it up and gets the bubble zip. Ooh! Looks like he was about to touch that spike. He was about a pixel away, but thankfully gets around it. He takes the D-boost to go through the giant fish and shrimps. Gets the frogs. He's running a little low on life here, so yep, there it is. That's not a good sign. Darko can only afford to take, I don't even think he could take a direct hit from Bubble Man. So he has to be very careful to make sure he gets Bubble Man down before Bubble Man comes across the screen and gets him. Meanwhile, Nero had a pretty easy time with the Yoku Block section, coming up on Magnet Man's door here. Again, proving his bustering skills are second to none almost. Takes out that watching shooter right there, the turret, no problem. Darko, here we go with Bubble Man's fight. Again, he has to be careful. Oop, that's not good. Don't take another hit. Gets it! Meanwhile, we have Nero, who's starting in on Magnet Man's fight, has taken a couple hits here. Ooh, it needs to be a little... yeah, he intentionally took damage there to start in order to buffer off Magnet Man's magnet drawing abilities, but... Ooh, that was a little close call there, buddy. Darko, in the meanwhile... Okay, we got top first. I love it when someone goes top man first. That just proves they have enough knowledge of the game that they feel confident enough to do this. Meanwhile, Nero, in the meanwhile, went Magnet first, which is originally one of the more faster routes discovered. I do believe world records came from that first, but top man first was one of the first few routes I've ever heard of, and honestly, that's the only route I've ever run was top first. But since this tournament, my thoughts have changed a lot. We'll discuss that later, though, as we can see here. Nero, doing everything he can, avoids the bees. Darko, in the meanwhile, showing he knows how to buster downtown, too, and takes it to the cat right in the face. Nero doesn't want to stop and deal with Hammer Joe, decides, you know what, I'm just going to take the hit and run. As we go into the monkey section, Darko busters out the second cat perfectly. Nero, proving he still has buster skills, busters the first monkey like nobody's business. Here we go with Darko. He's coming up on the end of Top Man stage. Thankfully, this is one of the shorter of the couple stages. There's a couple short stages in this game, but with this one, thankfully, Top Man's one of them. Ooh, Darko. Oh, goodness, Darko. Don't give us heart attacks. That was an excellent, excellent jump, but holy cannolis, don't give us heart attacks like that. As you can see, he's mashing away on that fire button. He is trying to whittle Top Man's life force down as hard as he can here. Does he get it? He gets the 3 cycle. Here we go with Nero, trying to prove he's still got those skills too. And in 1 cycle, takes out Proto Man. Took a couple hits, but it doesn't matter. He's got enough left in the tank, it won't make a difference. Both players here, so far, are doing the very best they can to outmatch each other when it comes to their skills. They're trying to prove that they're the better buster. They're trying to prove they get the better boss strats. There we go, Nero gets it done. Goodbye, Hardman. We barely knew you. Whew. Here we go, coming up on the 35-hour mark. Excuse me, 35 hours, wow. 35 minutes. We have 2 Robot Masters down for Nero. We have 1 down for Darko, who is now into Shadow Man stage. Has an excellent, wow, very excellent fight with Proto Man. Almost in rhythm, jumping and shooting. Nero, in the meanwhile, has taken out Magnet Man and Hard Man and is now going to go take out Top Man. definitely can see where this is going. He's probably going to go to Shadow Man next, and then from there, he could go to Jedi Man, or he can go to, Spark Man, or he can even go to Needle Man. His options are very much so open once he gets the Shadow Blade. He can do his thought processes from there. Also, with the Hard Knuckle, he could take out Gemini Man too. It's a little bit more difficult to do. I'm noticing lately that it's easier to buster Gemini Man than it is to sit there and try to use his weaknesses. Meanwhile, Darko here, dancing with the devil, getting a little close to the edge here with these paratroopers. Ooh! Wow! That was a tight slide. That made me choke a little. I'm not gonna lie. As soon as I saw that, I panicked. But Darko, excellent, showing off for the fans at home. Gets a little top spin action going through the door. Dance, baby, dance. And dancing with his demons, he takes out Shadow Man with little more than a sonnet. Meanwhile, we have Nero, who's struggling with this last section here, coming up on Top Man section. Here we go. Ooh! And that right there is not what Nero needed. That is not something Nero needed right now. He has this lead, he's trying to keep it, he's trying to command it. Darko's headed into Gemini Man stage. If he can get the Gemini skip, this will help make up some ground. But Nero there went to jump. I think he accidentally hit the down and slide button and sent himself sailing into the pit. Again, that is not something he needed. Darko, meanwhile, having the most lag-filled game in the stage. Excuse me, lag-filled stage in the game. With Gemini Man, this first section here just is a crawl. You got the penguins, you got the flame droppers, you got the flames, all these pixels adding up to, guess what? Lag. Thank you, Mega Man 3, for proving that frame rates don't mean junk. Nero getting an excellent 2-cycle and a very good hard knuckle shot to travel across the room. I'm impressed. I didn't think people actually were good with hard knuckle as a weapon. Bravo. Ooh. You hear that, ladies and gentlemen? Besides my voice, that's the sound of just Mega Man and his background noise. No music. The benefits of the Gemini skip. You shut off the music, you're good to go across the rest of this. Darko, not opting to call 1-800-R-Marine, decides, you know what? I got Shadow Blades. Going for some faster strats here, trying to slide on these 1-inch, one very short pixel block areas. Gets it done, decides he doesn't need the E-Tank, and is like, you know what? I'm healthy. Keeps on running. Nero, meanwhile, had a good fight with Proto Man, and is now busting his way into the dark. Ooh! Yeah, hey Darko, you want that energy tank now? Oh, Darko was so close to the door. Bicky decided to jump up and say hello as he went for the score, and got wrecked. Nero, here we go, decides, you know what? I'm not gonna play dangerous right. Darko! Oh, Darko. That is not something you need. Yep. Calls 1-800-R-Marine is like, I'm dying, help! At that point, can't really blame him. He's already taken 2 downs to this one section. One to Bicky, one to this piece of wonderful engineering and platforming here. Nero, in the meanwhile, had an excellent Shadow Man fight, while Darko struggles with the platforming section in Gemini Man stage. Running out of R-Marine here. Still skips both energy tanks. Honestly, at this point, I would grab one, because I don't think he has one left in the tank that he could take it down for. It's kind of clutch at the moment here, folks. As we can see, Nero is now heading into Gemini Man stage. He has 2 Robot Masters on Darko. Ooh, he's going Desperado. Definitely went Desperado. Makes up for the ground he lost. And shoves Gemini Man into pieces. Yeesh. After a scary stage, he gets it done. Nero, meanwhile, got the Proto Man zip. Gets a nice little zip through the tadpole bubbles. Meanwhile, Darko will be heading into Needleman. Again, there's now almost a whole stage and a half between these two players. This is not looking good for Darko, especially where Nero has a very strong finish towards the end as well. He comes out strong and he finishes strong, so he's gonna have to hustle, Darko has, to make something happen. As you can see, Nero not going for our Marine. Instead, yep, we're going sliding. Darko's heading into Needle, doing a good job here so far with the platforming. Wow, nice rebound on the Shadow Blade fight. Nero takes out the Dragonfly that was coming for him. Clean shot. So as you can see here, Darko is not opting to go Desperado on Gemini Man, but instead decides, you know what? I'm gonna split you in half. Shadow Blades! Oof. Darko going to the wall. Pretty risky strategy, but he still gets the job done with no Nadua lasers. That's definitely something you don't need in the morning. Alright, so Darko has 2 of the 3 Unholy Trinity down. Meanwhile, Nero still has 2 of the 3 Unholy Trinity left, plus Sparkman. Darko now going from Magnet Man. His order perplexes me a little bit, but I'm pretty sure Darko has something in mind. With all honesty, I'm pretty sure he needs to have something in mind, because, yeah! Nero still has a Robot Master and a half stage ahead of him. So he definitely has to still hustle. Decent Proto Man fight out of Darko. Gets it done. Nero making it through the acupuncture section. Still holding on to magnet missiles. Thought he had the magic money there, didn't. Waste a few extra missiles. I think he was intending for them to crash into the Hammer Joe when they opened the eye, but no love. Meanwhile, Darko here decides, you know what? I don't like Yuku blocks. Thank you, Rush Jet. Oh no! And there it went, ladies and gentlemen. Oh! Nero, oh no! A Nadua and a Muffin Pop in the face. Ugh. That's definitely not something you want in the morning. That's okay though, he makes the recovery. Just as Darko managed to finish off Magnet Man with Shadow Blades. That still puts almost a whole stage between each other because of Nero's mistake, but Nero still has the advantage. And for those just coming in, welcome to the 46 Robot Masters Tournament. I am your commentator, Secret Hooves. To explain the rules real quickly, they're running Mega Mans 1 through 6, only the Robot Master stages. The first one to kill all the Robot Masters, all 46, is deemed the winner. Meanwhile, we have some Slytherin actions going on over in the Chamber of Secrets that Nero is going through with Snake Man stage. Meanwhile, Darko's getting down on the construction site and getting it on with Hardman. Trying to avoid these bees here, pulls out the Shadow Blade. He skips back the first 2, but uses the Shadow Blade to make short work of the last one. Very nice shot. Meanwhile, Nero, using Rush Jet to his best abilities, pops over the first giant snakehead. He'll probably do it for the second one. New strat as of late. I love it! Darko here, proving he's got blustering skills for days, spanks one of the monkeys and gets on moving. Also, chat, quit being dirty. I understand it's 10 in the morning, I understand your euphemisms, but come on, keep a clean mind. Both these players so far, almost 45 minutes into this race, are doing a very excellent job they can. They've both had a couple mistakes, but again, in a tournament setting, mistakes are going to be made eventually. Nero, excellent job, gets over the second snakehead, makes a good jump, gets over the pole vaulters, no problem. Darko avoids the bees. Here we go with Proto Man. This is the last Proto Man fight for him. Again, showing he's got his stuff up to snuff. Wow. Proto Man doesn't even get a chance to turn around and say hello. Nero, in the meanwhile, decides, you know what? I love Rush Jet. Forget the platforms. Here we go with Darko. He's in Hardman's fight, shooting those magnet missiles. Doesn't offer to take the debuff, but still shoots him in the face. Meanwhile, we got Nero, who's sitting there and decides a little acupuncture for Snake Man is on the order. Again, we still have a whole Robot Master stage between each other here. Very excellent fight so far. They're doing great and amazing, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, Darko is now going to slither into the Chamber of Secrets. Meanwhile, Nero's going to do the electric slide and go on into Sparkman stage. Both players pretty much evenly matched. The only difference, again, is a whole stage. As we're coming up on the 50-minute mark, both of them will probably be in Mega Man 4 by this time. By the moment we reach that time. As they're doing excellent. Their platforming is amazing. They're spot on with their techniques. Darko, offering for the second form of the snake skip, decides, you know what? I'm not going to waste my time with Rush Jet. I'm just going to slither on through. Nero, meanwhile, having an excellent start to Sparkman stage. Doesn't look like he's taking much damage. Pretty good job by him. There's the intentional debuff. Oh, come on. It's 10 in the morning. I can make some type of bad puns. As we can see here, now Nero is jumping down the Tower of Doom, going through the electrical section with the junk, and Sparkman stage is Nero. Meanwhile, Darko, instead of deciding to slide on through the second snake, decides to fly clean over its head. Let's see Nero not opting to pull out Rush Jet here for the last part of Sparkman. Has to be careful of button and nuttin'. Thankfully, no problem whatsoever. Gets it done, gets into the door. Darko, in the meanwhile, is now sky high in Snake Man's area, pulls out Rush Jet, and starts running. Yes, I know, my tongue slipped. I called him Nero Man. Meanwhile, Sparkman goes down after getting split in half by Nero, who is now strongly into Mega Man 4. And this is something that Darko sort of did not need to have happen right now. Again, Nero has a very strong start and finish all around, so it doesn't really make a difference where his game is. Darko, on the other hand, his strongest isn't until the later half a little bit. His best start was Mega Man 1, but his strongest doesn't come into play till 5, where his slowest time is. As you can see, Nero is now starting into Mega Man 4. He will be going to Brightman first. Very, very interesting. A lot of people either go Brightman first or Pharaoh Man first. I can understand why you would want to go Brightman first, but you just have to be careful if you don't know the values, especially during his fight. It can be kind of tough. Meanwhile, Darko, is going into the other dark section of the universe, going to light things up with Sparkman. Both people are on an electric-based boss at the same time. Interesting! Never thought I'd see that happen. Oof! Darko, a little scary at the jumps there, but he still managed to get across the rising blocks. Is doing so far so good to try to catch up the ground here on Nero, who again has about a stage and a half ahead, almost a whole stage at the moment, completely. Let's see how it holds up, because Nero is in the last section of Brightman stage here, doing a swimmingly good job with these platforms, having no problems. Lights come back on. charging up and getting ready. He's about to rock Brightman's world. Meanwhile, Sparkman's about to be, recircuited. We go with Nero, starting off with... Here we go, yep, get some shard shots in. I don't think he shot a lemon just yet. Darko, here we go, splitting the difference with Sparkman. Standing right on top of him, slices him in half. Nero, I don't think he shot off a lemon yet. Oh, he has. Okay, he's good. So again, there's still a whole stage in between for both contestants at the moment. Both doing an excellent job right now to just do their best and keep it rolling as strong as they can. It's quite amazing how skilled both these players are. I would expect nothing less in the quarterfinals of this wonderful 46 Robot Master Tournament, as Darko is opting to go Brightman first as well. Here we go with Nero, he's heading into Pharaoh Man. Again, both players in Mega Man 4 by the 50-minute mark. This is just proving that they're trying to get the fastest they can. Be interesting to see if we could see a sub 140 out of one of these players. To answer your question, as far as Darko having a faster startup than Nero, it's pretty much been decided by the head of the tournament that, you know, it's up to the player to decide whichever portion they want to use. Do they want to use, like, you know, the NES carts? Do they want to use, like, a NES cart, you know, emulator? Stuff like that. That's up to them. As far as, like, him using the Wii Virtual Console emulators and stuff, it's just a matter of preference at that point. Back to the action here. We can see Nero had a pretty clean grab on the balloon. No problem sliding over to get it. And with Darko, he's now coming up on the last section of Brightman stage. Both of them are doing an excellent job with their platforming. Definitely trying to play safe here, especially with Mega Man 4. Mega Man 4 is known to be the king of the run-enders. Let's see what happens. Nero gets to the end of Pharaoh Man stage. I almost called it Shadow Man, I don't know why. Darko, meanwhile, starting off with Brightman, gets his lemon in, and now starts the fight. Nero, as you can see, is opting to stay away from Pharaoh Man. Not a semi-smart choice. You want to stay as close to Pharaoh Man as possible. You want to stay in range of the Pharaoh Wave, but you also want to get it done. But both people, not a problem. Queen sleeps. So as you can see, they're both trying to finish in about the center of the stage. This helps because since Mega Man 3, the implementation of the weapon get animation, which, in my opinion, just makes everything slow down more. So whatever you can do to help that. So Darko is now going to head into Pharaoh Man stage, pulls out the Bright Stopper. He's going to be going for Balloon, we hope. And let's see here, Nero is using Balloon and is in Ringman stage. Going to be using them Balloon strats. Very interesting thought process. Most people have been using Balloon strats lately when it comes to Ringman section, which is pretty nice. I mean, if you know what you're doing, there's a small window of opening where you could create the balloon, it can disappear, and you can still use it as a platform. As you can see, Nero is done. Darko, in the meanwhile, got an excellent slide jump with the use of the Bright Stopper, and manages to pull in and get the balloon. You can see Nero, he's making great use of the Pharaoh shot to get through this section. First ring mini-boss opts to stay close and use the debuff from the damage, the damage boost from the damage, and run into the ring mini-boss. Excellent job. Here we go with the hippos. Second hippo is now over and done with. Darko, meanwhile, is up in the scary section of Pharaoh Man stage. Bottomless pits, spikes, and mummies throw in their heads to offer knockback. Meanwhile, Nero is in platforming chaos when it comes to Ringman stage. Thankfully gets through without a problem, is coming up on the second ring mini-boss. has a little bit more than half in the tank for his life force, so he can afford to take, there it is, there's the damage boost. That will bring him down to about, say, 3/10 of a life bar. He needs to be very careful when finishing this up here. Darko, meanwhile, here we go. He's starting the Pharaohman fight. He's offering to play close to the vest with Pharaohman. That was Darko, excuse me. Nero, in the meanwhile, dealing with Ringman, decides to dance with him a little close to the shell. Doesn't take it single hit, though. Good job by both players, though. Their boss battles get over and done in no time. So now, Nero will be heading into Dustman stage. Meanwhile, Darko will be heading into Ringman stage. There's now a whole stage in between each other. As you can see, Darko is employing that balloon pretty good. Nero's pulling out the Bright Stopper going through Dustman's section here. Gets a good skip by Darko over the first hippo. Has to be careful though, because he has a little bit over half his life in the tank. He's definitely going to need a little bit more life to finish up the stage. Nero, meanwhile, in the Dust Crusher section, as you can see, pulls out Ringman's weapon. It's a very good weapon to use here, especially where you can throw it forward and it comes back and it clears out the section. Makes it so it's not so scary. Darko on the second hippo. Has to be careful now. He's got a lot less life than he used to. There we go. That's what the doctor ordered for Darko. Oh, okay. Have some weapon energy too. That's not bad. This will actually help him because he'll probably go just about half life going into Ringman's fight. Meanwhile, Nero is in Dustman's fight. Had an excellent Dust Crusher section, no problems whatsoever. As you can see, they're intentionally running into Dustman to debuff him from using the Trash Sucker. Has to be a little bit more careful here though because he's running out of life. Meanwhile, Darko, here we go, starting off the Ringman fight. Doing an excellent job to get in as close as possible. The nice thing about the Ringman fight is it's not as RNG based or, you know, crazily placed as for, say, the Crashman fight. So, good job by both contestants getting their respective Robot Masters down. Again, though, the scary part is there's still a whole stage in between each other. But yeah, with Ringman, though, there's not so much RNG based going into Ringman's fight as, again, with Crashman. With Ringman, you can predict and know when he's coming and force him to come a certain way by standing a little closer to him, which helps. But here we go, Nero, he's on the back half, he's coming up on the second set for Mega Man 4. Meanwhile, Darko, finishing off the first set, has to get through Dustman stage. Let's see how he does here. Nero, meanwhile, he did not flash stop in that first section of Skullman. Interesting. Both these players have brought interesting strats to the table so far. Nero especially here playing Suicide Man instead of Mega Man. I mean, you know, choice is yours, but sometimes taking too much damage can be quite a little bit of a payoff. And by a little bit, I mean nothing. There we go, now he's pulling out the Bright Stopper. A very good choice here, especially in this section of Skullman stage. You got the worms, you got the backwards facing catapult, Darko. Woohoo! Darko almost met disastrous fate. Nero, oh goodness. He's definitely going to be dancing with the demon. Ooh, here we go. Nero's gonna have a very tough fight here. He has to make sure not to get touched by Ugh. Yep. Stray bullet. Right in the face. Meanwhile, Darko is having a... Alright. Oh, come on, Dustman. Don't do this to him. There we go. Let's try that Skullman fight again, shall we? There we go. I believe that's how the Skullman fight's supposed to go. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we have just officially passed the hour mark on our timer here. We are officially in Mega Man 4 for both players. Darko has just finished Dustman, and we have now just seen Skullman go down for Nero. We still have a full stage in between both our contestants. Nero again pulled away very strong in Mega Man 1. Was starting to pull away in 2, slipped up a little bit. Was starting to pull back away again in 3, slipped up a little bit. Was again pulling away here in 4, but he slipped up again. So Nero keeps doing this slip and pull away thing here. Let's see if he can continue to do that trend as much as he can. Darko, again, had a very, very close call with Dustman. He pretty much was getting trashed around the room with bad RNG. So, here's hoping things look up for Darko. What do you got for us, Eddie? Nothing? Okay, love ya. Bye. Oh, cool. Double nothings. Yay! Eddie's the champ! Ay, ay, ay. Alright, here we go. Darko is still using the Bright Stopper to get through Skullman stage. Excellent choice here. He's not taking too much damage, which helps him out. Meanwhile, we have Nero, who's busting the whales down with the Bright Stopper. Good choice here. Darko on the tail end of Skullman stage. I don't know why I wanted to say Snake Man all of a sudden. Gets in clean, still has enough life in the tank, pulls out the dust shooter, and is getting ready to clog Dustman's bones. Excuse me, wow. Skullman's bones. Thank you for watching thus far. Obviously, I cannot stop tripping over my own tongue. Darko has an excellent Skullman fight, gets the job done. Nero, meanwhile, with enough Skull Barrier left in the tank, gets down Dive Man version 1. Oof. You know, I've heard of tight races, but this has so far been a very tough race. Yes, Mivu, I would agree. The unfortunate thing is, I wasn't smart enough this morning to grab a couple things of water. I grabbed my Dunkin' Donuts, and that was it. Yay! That's alright, we're still having fun here. Hour and 2 minutes in. We have 2 Robot Masters left for Nero X2, who is taking on Dive Man V2, or Drill Man, and Darko, who's taking on Dive Man, the original. Well, it's more like bagels, is greater than water, but donuts is greater than water too. So Darko, again, going for the Bright Stopper strats here, making sure he doesn't have any trouble. Nero doing the same thing with the Patantons here to get through this section. Definitely wants to make short work if enemies getting in his face. Ooh, Darko, very nice shot there. Gets the nice slide. Oh, Nero, even better. Gets the Bright Stopper perfectly timed on the turret so he doesn't have to take a pellet. Definitely going conservationist this time around. Definitely conserving a lot better than usual. Darko, in the meanwhile, still having enough Bright in the tank, takes out the second whale no problem. Nero on the platforming section of Drill Man, flipping on those switches and hitting that stopper, making sure he doesn't get rocks in the face. Interesting strategy by Darko. He took the hit from the bomb, but he slides off the spike. Hey, whatever moves you faster. Nero, meanwhile, still stuck on Bright Man's weapon. There goes down with Dive Man V2. Drill Man fight is started. Darko's now into the fight with Dive Man himself. Both players are neck and neck with each other's bosses fights. Diveman V2 has not dived once again. Boom! Magic Money gets it done. Both players, very excellent fights. Very strong finishes. Let's hope Darko has the same love when it comes to Drill Man. Oh yeah, the first dive is always guaranteed because that's the way he starts his fight. But after that, good luck to you. Alrighty, Darko is now heading into Drillman stage, again employing that Bright Stopper wonderfully, showing us how good his sliding strats are, getting just under the giant Spike Hopper. Nero, meanwhile, coming up on his final stage for 4, is in Toadman stage. I don't want to start anything now, but unfortunately I'm going to start up anyway. This is where... Ooh, Darko! Accidentally hitting down in B. Feels good, man. Feels good. Who am I kidding? No, that stinks. That hurts. Definitely don't want to slide into a pile of spikes. Nero, in the meanwhile, what I was going to say is in the place where most of the runs end up having a halt. Because of the physics. Here we go with Darko going back through this tight section here. He's got the drill spikes. Doesn't slide this time. Nero doing his best to platform through this last section in Toadman stage. Good job. Gets it in. Ooh, Darko. Very good use of the Bright Stopper right there. Definitely recovers from the fact that he took the down. Making great use of what he has left in the tank of the Bright Stopper, showing his bustering abilities are pretty much up to snuff still. 4 games in and still going awesome. Nero, the meanwhile, gets it done. Toadman has gotten drilled away. And we're coming up to almost everybody's favorite Mega Man. Mega Man 5. And why do we love 5? The Super Arrow. But we'll talk about it when we get it. Meanwhile, on the left side of your screen, Darko, here we go, with Drill Man's fight. There's the first inaugural drill. Let's see what happens from there. Thumbs up. He's running around the dance floor. He's shooting at him. Darko's gonna be careful. Doesn't want to take that body damage. Can't take another drill shot. He has to be careful here. Gets it done. And on the right side of your screen with Nero, we can see he's starting to Starman stage. And it's pretty much so far so good. Getting good shots, getting good timings. Making excellent pace here coming through this section. Gets the good shot on the first missile. Nice charge shot timing, takes out 2 turrets at once. Just gets over the giant bipedal robot. Got this tight gravity section here to get through. Gets it done. Ooh! Took a hit on the way over, but he gets it done anyway. Very nice jump over the, not a middle gear. I don't know why I wanted to say that, I just did. Gets into Starman stage. Meanwhile, Darko starts out on Toadman stage. Here we go. Gets the first jump. Can he get the second? Yes. Can he get the third? Gets it done. Good job, Darko. Gets through the most annoying section of Toadman stage, the beginning. Meanwhile, Nero making a very good use of his charge shots to bypass the shield to make it good and get through Starman stage. Good job. Darko, meanwhile, still going through Toadman stage. Coming up on our first Big Frog Ninja. Uses the Bright Stopper. Takes the intentional buffer hit, gets on through. Meanwhile, as you can see, we now have the Super Arrow on Nero's screen. So let the antics of 5 begin, as I forgot to get rid of Starman. There we go. So Nero, coming up, will point it out when it happens, but he's going to make excellent use of the super arrow like many other players do through Gravity Man stage to get some jobs done. Meanwhile, we have Darko, who's coming up on the door for Toadman. Let's see if he can pull off a decent fight. Well, who am I kidding? Toadman's a freebie. Nero, in the meanwhile, opts not to ride the super arrow all the way. Does his job, gets across the first half. Here we go, Darko pulls out the drill, and it's drilling time. Let's make some toad soup. Done! Bye-bye, Toadman. We barely knew you. Nero, in the meanwhile, still using that super arrow to do amazing tricks. Nice setup. And there you go. Wonderful use of super arrow right there. Was this intentional? Darko is on Charge Man? I am confused. But hey, to each their own. I mean, I could see the possible strategy behind it. I just don't see it paying off too big as Nero. Clean Gravity Man fight. But yeah, Charge Man first? Like, I can understand. If he's gonna play it through and, you know, just buster out Charge Man and then go back on track, but, yeah, I'm not seeing the benefits. I'm trying to pull a thought out of my head that could make sense of why we're seeing the chicken room first. I just don't got it. So, someone else can come up with an explanation? Ah, someone did. Okay, never mind. I don't have to. Nero, in the meanwhile, going through Gyro Man stage here. Used his super arrow to get some platforming done. Very good use there. Darko, I can't tell if he's intentionally trying to throw this room or if he's having a little bit of trouble with it, but makes it through the chicken room, thankfully. Let's see if he can get to the end of the stage. Meanwhile, Nero, here we go. Got the falling sky platforms. Not to mention the spike copters. Has to be very careful. Darko there, getting the health he needs to recover from the chicken room. Good job. Probably get a 1-up or 2 along the way. Nero taking his time. There we go, gets it done. So, alright, Darko. Charge Man with the buster. Let's see what you got, buddy. Pretty decent so far. The only reason I could see him doing Charge Man now is he's going to Wave Man next. Which, I can understand why you'd be doing that. But I'll explain that in a second, because Nero, pretty much no effort whatsoever, blows Gyro Man away. I dedicate this chicken run to the comedy runs in the quarterfinals by Nero and Darko. Do you, man? So, now we're going to Starman. Okay. So he's not going to go to Wave Man. I thought he was going to go to Wave Man and then go to Starman because Wave Man beat Starman, but, guess I'm wrong. Alright, so Nero, he's setting it up here for 40 seconds of peace and quiet for himself. Nah, it's not peace and quiet. He's going to be doing a zip. As you can see here, 1, 2, 3, gets it done. Boom. So, to explain what's going on with Nero's screen, for those who don't know about this, the Crystal Zip is a very tight zip, and what you do is you bring yourself to the last energy, you get that ball and cup enemy. you're supposed to collide with the one that's coming onto the screen, and as that one comes on the screen, that's supposed to be no enemy, and then somewhere in the data goes, Urgh. It like completely derps out, to the point where it's like, okay, now I gotta figure out where I am, and it's like, okay, so Mega Man's at the boss door, but I don't remember how he got there, so let me just go through the memory, let me rewrite myself, and 40 seconds later, when the game finally figures out what's going on, there it is. That was the best 40 seconds of explanation I could offer up for 40 seconds of stupidity. My stupidity, that is. But Nero gets the job done, gets into Crystal Man's stage, gets the zip, gets the kill. Meanwhile, Darko was having a very good Starman stage, doing pretty good with this Buster fight. He's opting to stay close. He's sneaking in extra shots when he can through the Star Shield. Not a bad choice. Gets it done. So now Darko, the world is his oyster at this point. He could go to Wave Man for the fun of it, or he can go to Gravity Man. Meanwhile, Nero is going to Napalm Man. As we are on an hour and 15 in and some change, and Nero is on the back half of 5. Darko still has the front half to take care of. Excellent race so far. The only major disappointment at this point is there's now 2 Robot Masters between these 2 wonderful players. I have a feeling how this could go is going to end, but it's never over until it's really over. Especially with still a whole game and a half left to play. And unsurprisingly, now I can say this, 4 didn't take too many lives. Like it usually does. But as you can see by both players here in their respective stages, Nero and Darko making excellent use of the super arrow to get through these sections pretty easily. Ooh! Darko! Stay out of the hole! If it wasn't for that last gravitational pull, Darko would have been clean through the ceiling into the bottomless pit that somehow exists in the ceiling. Because Mega Man. Meanwhile, Nero gets through his own bottomless pit problems with the missiles, makes it into Napalm Man's room, is having an excellent shot, getting all his crystal eyes to connect. Goodbye, Napalm Man. Meanwhile, Darko having an excellent Gravity Man fight, making good use of the Star Crash, gets it done. Again, still 2 whole stages between our contestants. Nero strongly taking the lead, though. Again, Nero's done this thing where he slipped up and come back, slipped up and come back. Darko's slipped up and then got back up to where he was. And he's trying his definite best to pull on through. I know he is. Getting into Gyro Man stage, here we go. Nero, in the meanwhile, is gonna go do some powerlifting. We got Stone Man. That's a very satisfying elevator sound. I don't know why. So we can see there, Darko getting excellent use of the super arrow, getting through, getting a nice ride. And to chat, a heads up notice, I'm trying not to say the name as much as I can. I just don't know how to pronounce it correctly without slipping over my own tongue. I blame the Boston accent some days. Ooh, that's a wicked serious setback for Darko. Talking about setbacks, another clean right into something I don't need to be in hole. Meanwhile, Nero, excellent jobs getting through peacefully. Well, not so much peacefully as it is excellently through these stages here. The good side, though, for Darko is if Nero slips up enough, as someone just mentioned, Wote over in chat, he doesn't have to use Power Stones, unless he really wants to. Speaking of Power Stones, Nero makes very short work of Stone Man with the Napalm. Incinerary. Boom. I do not know where I was going with that one. Darko, here we go, is having a good fight with Gyro Man. Lifts him into space. So again, the tail of the tape here so far. 2 Robot Masters between our excellent players at the moment. We're a $120 into this baby, and it's still been very hot action. And I'm glad I got up this morning. Gotta tell you folks, these tournaments would not be as fun and as possible without these wonderful players and the viewers like you watching here on Speed Gaming, only on Twitch.tv. And here we go, Darko going into Snowman stage. Snowman stage? He's just gonna make me question everything today, isn't he? Hey, if you get a strategy, make it work. Darko's at least not abandoning the stage altogether and opting to suicide himself out of it. He's at least trying to stick in with the mistakes he made, slash possible, intentional presses he made. Who knows? This could be intentional, this could have been a whoops. Definitely looks intentional, because he's definitely trying to do the stage the best he can with the super arrow. Nero, meanwhile... There we go. Now he switches to Power Stone. Even though it is a worthless weapon. And I cannot believe someone actually made a hack that makes you use only the Power Stone. There goes Charge Man. Meanwhile, Darko's doing pretty much decently here in Snowman stage, doing the best he can to survive. Here we go, we only got Wave Man left. For Nero, who's doing the best he can. The last time I questioned someone this madly was Wild Anaconda. But you know what? His choices are his choices, and Darko's choices are Darko's choices. So this is the second boss he has to muster through. Get Snowman done. Meanwhile, Nero is on Wave Man. So we now have almost... Wow. We're going to have 3 Robot Masters between Darko and Nero. It's going to take a major slip up on Nero's part for Darko to have any chance at this rate. Yeesh. Here we go with Nero, who's on the Wave Bike section. Pretty semi-peaceful ride here going on. The only thing I gotta worry about is Sniper Joe, Dolphins, Water Mines. And now Darko's going to Wave Man. I have no words. I have no thoughts. I just don't know where to begin. I don't know. I'm supposed to be commentating on this stage, and I'm getting confused by Darko. Nero, meanwhile, has gotten through the first half of the water ride. Again, with the water ride, dolphins, landmines, Sniper Joes, giant squid, and of course, a boss at the end of the rainbow. Nero makes it to the end of his ride. Smooth sailing. Just decides to charge kick through the door. Coming in! Here we go with the Waveman fight for Nero, who's using charge kick to his advantage. Kicking Waveman in the face. Bam! What script? There was never a script to begin with. I'm sorry, but if you think I'm going to wake up a half hour ahead of time just to write a script for this, you're wrong. You can't script this stuff. Nobody could. That's the beauty of speedrunning, ladies and gentlemen. There's no such thing as a script. There's no rules. Well, there's rules and limitations, but there's no script. You just do it. Meanwhile, Nero has cleanly gotten into Mega Man 6. An hour and 25 minutes and 50 seconds in, he's on Windman stage. Darko is on Waveman stage in Mega Man 5. It is tight. It is awesome. It is amazing. It is 46 Robot Masters. You get no more exciting Mega Man action than this right here, ladies and gentlemen. Especially when it comes to these two contestants. Darko makes quick work of Waveman, kicks him down, leaves him left with Crystal Man and Napalm Man. Nero here having no problem with Windman's stage, making short work of the pandas, busting his way through everything, getting the job done, making sure he doesn't make any mistakes. Doing good. I wasn't referring to the lead being tight, I was referring to the action. Because it's awesome! Here we go with Darko. He's coming through and he's on Napalm Man stage. Here we go with Nero. He's just into the fight for Windman. Doing his good job so far, using those charge busters, sliding away from Windman as much as he can. So far hasn't taken a single hit in the fight. Doing good as he can. Darko made it through the drill section pretty decently. Had no problems whatsoever in Napalm Man stage. Nero cleans up Windman. And then there were 7. Here we go with Darko. Makes excellent use of the super arrow. Slides clean over that section there in Napalm Man stage. Pulls out the charge kick. Interesting thought process. He's using the charge skip to skip through the missiles. Alright, do you, brother? Here we go with Nero. He is in Flame Man stage. Gets the shot off, prevents the turret from saying hello. Making excellent use to get through this section with the oil on the platforms. Meanwhile, Darko, who indeed at this point is having fun with Napalm Man, charge shots him to death. So that leaves him left with Crystal Man. As he's somewhat attempting to close the gap. Here we go with Nero. He's in the last section of Flame Man stage. Has to be careful in this one section here. Oop, there it is! And that is why he needed to be just a touch more cautious. Nero getting ignited and melted into slag. Good thing he has 1-800 to pick me up to get me rolling again. So Nero here playing a little tighter this time, trying to platform this very carefully. Again, platforming and gunning on the fly, name of the game here. Darko, looks like he set up, yep. He set up the ball and cup trick, and he gets the warp in. Meanwhile, Nero got through the fire pit of Doom section, and will now move on to fight Layman. Taking a couple hits here and there, it's not too bad, but he gets the magical money. And then there was 6. Now that we stared at a bouncing pup for about 40 seconds. Crystal Man! So Crystal Man is down, and here we go. He is now in Mega Man 6. Starting with Blizzard Man. Well, at this point, if he's going for a comedy run, he's definitely sliding on in with it. Here we go with Nero, who is now in Blizzard Man stage himself, but he has the Fire Blast, so it's going to make short work of most of the enemies on the stage. Has Mega Man 6 always transitioned this slow? I don't remember it being that slow. Maybe I'm just crazy. Heck, who am I kidding? I know I'm crazy. Clean submarine by Nero. Good job with the bombs. Here we go with Darko. He's going to see if he can do the same. Does he go for it, Nero? Nope, he's not opting to go for the crazy risk maneuver and do the bomb slide. Darko, meanwhile, slides through the submarine. Gets through decently. Here we go with Nero. Oof. Oh no. 2 rollouts, a blizzard attack. 3 rollouts. 4 rollouts! 4 rollouts and 2 blizzard attacks for Nero. He still manages to get it done. And then there were 5. Here we go with Darko. Charge shot missed. Here comes the rollout attacks. We got 1. We got 2. Here's a blizzard attack. Here's another blizzard attack. Here's another rollout. Here's another blizzard attack. Here's another blizzard attack. There's the rollout. Followed by a blizzard. And followed by a dead. Here we go. Nero has entered the most infamous stage in Mega Man 6. It is Plant Man. Meanwhile, Darko has just wrapped up Blizzard Man. Booyah! Here we go. Nero's doing a good job getting through the first section here. Switches over to Fire Blast, is getting ready. You know what? Sees the 1-up, decides not to take it. Meanwhile, Darko is going to go to Plant Man 2. Ooh. Is this wise? Is this foolish? Is this comedic? Who knows? Here we go with Nero. Gets the second ape down. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, the worst room in the game. On your right side of the screen, it is the fish platforming water pit of doom. Got the fish, got the water, got flying rhinos, tag beetles, got snipers. Did I mention fish? And springs! Also type platforming. This spot has eaten up so many people in the preliminary round, it is not funny. Ooh, Nero, nice job. Had a very, very close call there at the end, but manages to slip on in, get the shot off on the sniper, and slides to victory. Here we go with Darko, who's on the second one now. Very good job, showing his bustering skills are still up there. Nero, here we go with Plantman's fight. Having a little bit of trouble to start. Plantman has lost his confusion. There we go. Gets unconfused, puts a barrier back up, but it's not enough. Nero freezes the plants cold. And then there was 4. But Darko, whew, bustering that monkey like nobody's business. Ooh! Gotta be careful there, he almost got taken out by the stag beetle midair. Here we go with Nero, he's gonna go into Tomahawk Man stage. Well, Darko, here we go. What's he gonna do for Plant Man? He's going for the Buster. Meanwhile, Nero, here we go, in Tomahawk Man stage, pulls out the Fire Blast, is getting ready to take on the first Met Dispenser with it. Darko, in the meanwhile, doing an excellent job of his Buster strategy, making sure to keep the right amount of distance between him and Plant Man. He's doing a really good job here. His bustering skills are pretty much on key. He's taking a few hits here, but he gets the job done. Meanwhile, Nero took out the Met Dispenser with no issues whatsoever. So we still have 6 Robot Masters on the other side for Darkomegamagic. We have 3.5 for Nero X2. The only reason I say 3.5 is he's now halfway through Tomahawk Man stage. But yes, at this point, Nero has a pretty commanding lead. It's gonna have to take some miracle of RNGesus to pretty much cause a corrupted problem for Nero. Like, Nero would literally have to fall into every pit that comes up for like the next 10 minutes for Darko to have any ground catch-up happen. But I gotta say, his route with bustering is awesome. I've never seen someone actually have the confidence to go through and buster as many bosses as he's done. I think he's used a few weaknesses in the start. I think he's used just about every weakness to start. But after that, he's pretty much just gone through and bustered everything. So, my hat's off to you, Darko. Good job. Meanwhile, Nero, here we go. Still equipped with Fire Blast. There we go, switches to the plant barrier. It's taking the fight to Tomahawk Man. Taking a little bit too much damage in the process, but unfortunately that's the name of the game with Tomahawk Man. You have to take some bodily damage here and there to make it happen. But good news! 3 more left! Versus 6 on the other side of the screen. But it's still a fun race nonetheless. Wow. 3 jump cycle, full buster form by Darko on the Met Dispenser. Good job there. I don't think I've ever seen someone buster out a Met Dispenser that fast outside of auto fire. Oof. Alright, here we go. Darko's finishing up, coming through. Switches to plant barrier. He's not gonna buster Tomahawk Man. And I don't blame him. It's not exactly a situation you want to catch yourself bustering. Especially when it comes to Tomahawk Man. Darko gets it done. By Tomahawk Man. Meanwhile, we have Nero, who is in Yamato Man stage. He pulls out the Rush Adapter, and it's up, up, and away, ladies and gentlemen. Excuse me a couple moments, folks. I apologize this, but there's going to be a small bit of silence. And this is in case he actually wins the fight when I'm gone. Alrighty, how much did I miss? Okay, Yamato Man's down. Cool. Good news about that distraction, at least I got a drink. Meanwhile, let's see here. Let's catch up to where we were. So, Darko is coming into Nightman stage. Meanwhile, Nero has made it already halfway through Nightman stage. Nero is in the bouncy houses. As we can see, he's having fun with that. Has full life coming into Nightman's fight. He'll definitely have it easy. Has the Yamato Spear on the ready. Darko here was about to start sliding through the spike trap, but realizes it's a little low. Makes it through. Beautiful. Nero having a little bit of trouble with Nightman because he's bouncing around the room a little bit, but he still manages to spear him. This is definitely looking a possible sub 145 if Nero can hurry. As he has one Robot Master left, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, we got Centaur Man on the right side of your screen, the last Robot Master for Nero. This will be his 46th Robot Master. Meanwhile, we have Darko, who still has 4 left to go. And with Nightman, he's entering the bouncy house. He had a pretty decent stage through Nightman thus far. As he now bounces through the house, let's see how he does. Gets on through, and stays the course. Here we go with Nero. He's opted to pull out the Night Crusher to start throwing it to get through this first section of Centaur Man's underwater portion. Very good use of it. Not many people opt to do that. Most people opt to pull out the Tomahawks or the Yamato Spear. It's literally going to take Nero falling down in this next section coming up for Darko to make any sort of recovery. Just a reminder for the folks at home. But nonetheless, he had a pretty good Nightman fight. Here we go with Nero. He's on the last tricky part of the game. Up the ladder, and it's up to Jellyfish Metroid Falls. Gets on through. And he's now into Centaur Man himself, Darko that is. Here goes Nero. We're coming up on the end, folks. Going to it so far, trying to keep the invisibility frames going so that way the flash doesn't occur. There it is, the dot done. Nero X2 finishes with an on-screen race time of 1:44.46. The official SRL robot clocks him in with a race time of 1:44.41, a sub 151. Congratulations, Nero! Now that was a race. Very great and wonderful game done by Nero. He did his strongest in Mega Man 1, pulled out his second strongest coming into Mega Man 6 here, and overall had a very strong run through every single game, and I think he only had a couple of major flaws the entire run, which was not bad. Darko here, he's had a few major setbacks. He's still trying to have fun with it. I have not seen him hit Dot Forfeit just yet, so he's still going to continue this run. Whew. What a match. Here we go with Darko, who is now came up onto Centaur Man himself. Takes the first hit intentionally to make sure those iframes stay up. Took an accidental extra hit here, and he's just messing around now. Takes the down. Second time around, it's doing pretty decently. Gets the job done. Alrighty, so with Centaur Man down, it's off to Windman finally. I never thought we'd see Windman this late in the game. Hey, I actually thought we wouldn't see him at all. Here we go, Darko coming up on Windman. Meanwhile, for your pleasure and entertainment, Nero's taking revenge to Flame Man stage for the deaths. Because why not? Here we go, Darko's doing pretty decently so far in the first half of Windman stage. Like most people, he's been holding that charge button in for that first section there. It adds a little extra lag because of the charge timer being on there. So, but I can understand why. Just instinctively you're holding it and having it on the ready. Because you're so used to having your thumb so close to it, because in the other ones it doesn't charge, but ever since 4 it's like, oh, it charges now, right, whoops. Doing a good job getting through these pandas though. We go on the Spike Panda win combination. Sails clean up and over. And I think this is a first. We're actually going to see Centaur Flash used. Yeah, we're seeing Centaur Flash. Alrighty then. So, Centaur Flash. Never thought I'd see that happen. Just goes to show you that these people can amaze and surprise you all at the same time, folks. Here we go for Darko. He's on his last Robot Master now, coming up with Flame Man. Something about Flame Man's music is kind of cool. Side funny note, I can often find myself sometimes just dancing in my chair every time I play these games, especially when it comes to stage missions like this. I don't know what it is. Flame Man just puts me in a mood that makes me want to groove. But nonetheless, I'm getting a little carried away. Back to the action. Darko's having a good job getting through these sections. He didn't set anything on fire at the flame tellies, so he should have an easy platforming time coming through this stage. And I think for fun, Nero is racing Darko through the end of each stage just for kicks. Oh! Good job, Nero. You're trying to show off, and you died to the same thing that you died to during the race. Good job! Meanwhile, that was the most creative use of Centaur Flash I've ever seen. Darko actually used it to take out all the flame tossers in order to avoid getting anything on fire. Whatever works. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. That was funny. Alrighty, so on-screen time for Darko. He finishes with 152.31. Racebot clocks him in with a 152.32. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of today's 46 Robot Masters Tournament match. The winner is Nero X2, and he'll be moving on to the next contestants round. Let me see if I can just pull up who is still remaining real quick. Flip you to this nice, wonderful blank screen. Yeah, who am I kidding? You guys can keep watching them. Yeah. So, that was quite a match between these two amazing gamers. So, let me see. I'm still pulling it up here at the moment. Just gotta find it. Keyword is find it. No, that's Blitz there. Here we go. Alrighty, so with Nero versus Darko now done out of the way, we're just waiting for the submissions for the next match setups. Because going on after this, we officially go into the semifinals. Yeah! It's going to be a fun time. So, unfortunately, that is all that we got for today, which is kind of disappointing. The next thing we have going on isn't till tomorrow here on Speed Gaming, as far as I'm aware of. The next thing that we'll have happening is the Metroid Prime tournament, which is tomorrow at 8 p.m. Yowcha! So yeah, we got quite a gap in between stuff coming up for right now, but just as a reminder for everybody watching this, always please follow the runners that participate in these events, because they are wonderful. They put on such a showcase for us. They deserve your love and adoration even after the fact. So go ahead and give them a nice unfollow on both their pages there. And as always, if you love what you see here, always come back for more. There's always something cooking up. Additionally, last time I was on air, when I was doing something for Speed Gaming, I made an oops! I need to correct said oops. So the last time I was on air with Mythical, I mentioned that there's a Super Metroid 100% Winter Tournament coming up. I lied about the start date. I said it was supposed to be starting on the 21st. Correction. It starts on the 28th of November. So you still have time to join if you want to join that. We have other wonderful events that you can see down below on the page at the bottom that are going on. You can also find out more on Speed Gaming itself, its actual website. And you can join in these wonderful events. You can come in and just love these events. They're wonderful to be here for. We have such amazing people. Feasel and Mythical, wonderful guys. I thank them for doing all the hard effort that they do to this. Thank you to Enemy, who takes the time and effort to put this together, to make this happen. This has been a wonderful, fantastic tournament. And as always, thank you to the people at Speed Gaming and SRL for, just coming together, putting on excellent shows, all the speedrunners that come into this, and including every single person that does commentary, because this stuff is not easy. Even restreams, because someone's got to broadcast this. So again, thank you to everybody who's involved in this wonderful thing. As always, follow the runners, follow Speed Gaming, follow Speedruns Live, and always return and come back here for the latest and greatest in speedrunning. For this episode of the 46 Robot Masters Tournament between Darko and Nero, I have been Sacred Hooves. It has been a pleasure to serve and entertain you today. Have fun!